I didn't buy a house by the lake. I bought the entire lake. Sounds insane, right? Who in their right mind buys a whole lake? But that's exactly what I did. 15 acres of crystal clear water, spring fed, nestled right in the middle of the Pine Hollow Estates neighborhood, where every house is worth over $1 million. And, of course, there's a powerful HOA. But here's the fun part, that HOA doesn't actually own the lake they think they control. I do, with full documentation, signed, stamped, and certified by the county. And that drove them absolutely mad, especially when I took my brand new jet ski for a few spins right in front of the HOA president's house. This is the story of a lake, a power hungry HOA, and a glorious dose of legal revenge. The story begins in 2019 when I was looking for a quiet weekend retreat, not a townhouse, not a cabin. I wanted something that was truly cut off from the world. And then I saw it. A real estate listing so bizarre I had to read it 3 times to make sure I wasn't seeing things. Lake for sale. Just the lake. Surrounding land not included. Sounds like a joke, right? It wasn't. Turns out, back in the 1990s when Pine Hollow Estates was being developed, a surveying error occurred. The entire neighborhood, over 60 luxury homes governed by an HOA, was built around the lake. But the lake bed and the water itself? Still privately owned. The previous owner was an old rancher. His family had held the water and mineral rights for decades. And he was willing to sell if the buyer understood its real value. I bought it immediately. The contract, the maps, the verification from the county land office, everything was legal and crystal clear. But here's the kicker. The HOA had no idea. Or if they did, they conveniently forgot. Memorial Day 2024. The sun was shining, the breeze was gentle, the lake's surface was smooth as glass. I rolled out my brand new jet ski to the dock and fired it up. The engine's rumble echoed across the water, not loud, but just enough to startle a few fish. I glided past a few docks, smiling at the kids fishing nearby. Some waved back, some scowled. I figured it was because they had never seen anyone dare to use a jet ski here. They were used to thinking the lake belonged to the community. But in reality, it belonged to me. The next day, knock, knock, knock. The sound at the gate was as firm as the woman standing outside. Mid-50s, wide-brimmed hat, clutching a clipboard like she was leading a criminal investigation. My name is Cynthia. I'm the president of the HOA, and you're violating the rules. I raised an eyebrow. Violating what exactly? Gas-powered personal watercraft are strictly prohibited on Lake Serenity. It's in the HOA bylaws. I gave her a faint smile. Well, that's great. I'm not part of the HOA, and this lake, I bought it 5 years ago. Cynthia froze. Her eyes narrowed, as if I had just uttered blasphemy. You're joking. Nope. I've got the deed, the parcel maps, even a letter from the county confirming ownership. Want to see? She didn't answer, just turned around and walked off. But that look in her eyes said it all. This wasn't over. 2 days later, I was fixing up the porch when I heard tires crunching along the dirt road leading to the dock. I looked up. 2 officers were stepping out of a white SUV. Good afternoon, one of them said. We got a complaint from the HOA. Someone's been operating a gas-powered vehicle on Lake Serenity without authorization. I nodded calmly. Sure, one moment. I walked back inside, pulled out a neatly organized plastic folder with color-coded tabs. Inside were the deed to the lake, neighborhood parcel maps issued by the county, and a signed letter from the county registrar's office stating, Lake Serenity, including its waters and lakebed, is privately owned by XYZ since 2019. I handed it over. The younger officer flipped through the pages, his eyes widening. You actually own the entire lake? Exactly. And the HOA? They have rights to use the docks, but they don't own the water. They have no authority here. The other officer nodded, handing back the folder. Legally speaking, you're completely in the clear. This is a civil matter. We have no grounds to intervene. Right then, almost as if on cue, Cynthia appeared, marching in with 3 other HOA board members in tow. She was flailing her arms, voice sharp. He's destroying the lake's ecosystem, causing noise. He's a threat to the community. The officer turned to her, voice calm and cold. Ma'am, this lake isn't owned by the HOA. If you believe there's a violation, you're welcome to take it to civil court. But as of now, he's not breaking any laws. Silence. Cynthia's face flushed. Her lips tightened. And then she turned and walked away, like a general stripped of rank in front of her army. And me? I strolled down to the dock, fired up the jet ski, and did a few celebratory laps right past Cynthia's dock. I knew she was watching from the window, so I waved. I thought it was over. But no, Karen never stops at round one. That week, every resident in the neighborhood received a notice from the HOA, the title in bold, warning, dangerous activity on Lake Serenity. The content? Oh, it was something else. They labeled me a reckless operator of motorized vehicles, a threat to community safety, and, my favorite piece of drama, a potential hazard to the aquatic ecosystem. I laughed. You'd think I was dumping crude oil into the lake, not riding a jet ski during daylight hours at a controlled speed. But it got better. The letter stated that the HOA was considering all necessary legal measures to protect the rights of residents. Sounds serious, right? So I responded. Polite, simple, and very much in the spirit of quiet legal slap. I sent each member of the HOA board a printed full-color letter, complete with my personal seal, along with a laminated copy of my lake ownership certificate. At the top of the letter, I wrote, "Thank you for your concern. As the sole legal owner of Lake Serenity, I remain committed to using the lake in a safe and lawful manner. You are, of course, welcome to continue fishing from your private docks. Just try not to fall in." I have never seen a neighborhood go so collectively silent. Since the whole laminated letter incident, everything's been as calm as the lake at dawn. No more cops, no more Cynthia at my door with a clipboard and that self-appointed air of authority. No more community newsletters dripping with veiled threats. Just me, the lake, and the soft hum of an engine echoing through nature. I still ride the jet ski, still careful, only during the day, never near where kids are swimming. I've never hurt anyone. I've only lived within the rights I legally hold. And now, finally, I think the HOA understands that. They don't have to like me. They just have to understand the law. You see, sometimes in life, you meet people who think they have power just because they're used to giving orders. But if you stay calm, know the rules, and keep your paperwork airtight, you don't need to raise your voice. You just need to start the engine and take one slow lap around their dock. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, drop a comment about your own HOA drama, and hit that subscribe button, because next time it might be another Karen in my own backyard.